Greetings and welcome to the Metal Bastards YouTube Hangout channel. And tonight actually, we are going to do part one of our deep dive into the Megadeth discography. I'm just waiting for Mean Metal Mike to show up. Hopefully he shows up soon so we can get the show on the road here. And I gotta get rid of this live with StreamYard bullshit. I don't like it. Oh, what the hell? Whoops. Get that out of there. There we go. Much better. Alright, looks like we got one person in the chat room here. You'll be on in about an hour. Okay, I don't know. I guess we'll have to do a refresh then once you join. I'm still waiting for me and Mike to join anyways. But, by the way, before we begin this episode, I'm going to let you all know I have a new song on my Metal Bench Chronicles YouTube page up now for the next album. The next album's going to be titled Raging Lightning. And I'm hoping to have it out before Christmas. Let's put it that way, before Christmas. And I have a new track up there called Raging Lightning. It's the self-titled track for the next record. Which, yeah, it seems like it's coming along pretty fast. I still got a bit to record, but it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, go check that out indeed. And, man, I feel like Jeff right now. My fucking hair is blowing all over the place. Well, reason for that being is my air conditioner died last week. And, well, I had to go buy me a little fan because it gets awful freaking hot and stuffy up here in my room. So, you know. But anyways, yes, go check out the Raging Lightning track right now. At your convenience, whenever. But yeah, hoping to get that done. Still waiting on Mean Metal Mike anyways. So yes, check out the Bandcamp page too. Oh, what's going on, Ryan? I see that. You're over there on Twitch, man, huh? Seems like you're doing pretty good over there on Twitch, dude. Keep it up, man. But anyways, what was I saying? Anyways, yeah, check out Holocaust on Bandcamp. Holocaust 1. Yes, Holocaust 1 at bandcamp.com. There is another Holocaust page. That's my old page. I have no access to that page anymore. I cannot get into that page. So I do have another Holocaust page. I also have a Holocaust fan page, too, over on Bandcamp. So, you know. And that's basically, you know, so I can subscribe to other bands on YouTube, or on Bandcamp, that is. And, yes, I also have a Teespring store. Check me out on Teesprings. Yep. We got cool shirts like this on Teesprings. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's the hooded sweatshirt. And this is for On Earth as It Is in Hell, the first release. Humanity Has Failed Us, it says on the back. So yeah, that's there. Comes in all sizes. And I'm not charging a lot for these shirts either, like a lot of people do. So. And yeah, any proceeds basically goes to getting better equipment to do YouTube and, you know, to record music in the future. And we got the On Earth as It Is in Hell t-shirt. Very hard to... Anyways, I hope you guys can see that. Humanity Has Failed Us, it says on the back too also. And I do have the Reaping Metal t-shirt. I don't have the hoodie though. See, even I gotta pay for my own stuff. Seems like it got kind of dark there. But anyways, we got... I don't know why the lighting got kind of dim all of a sudden. Yeah, we got the Reaping Metal t-shirt. Trying to get that in the screen. It's fucking hard to do this. And of course, on the back it says Reaping Heavy Metal Vengeance. Those are the shirts I have over there on my Teesprings page. So yeah, man. I mean, we charge them like $17 for the shirts now. The shipping does cost a lot. I mean, nothing I can do about that. Eventually, if things do pick up with this, I would love to, you know, take these T-shirts and print them myself. You know, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Mean Metal Mike to show up so we can do this Megadeth deep dive. But I guess I can kind of begin. Okay, so obviously Megadeth formed on New Year's Eve of 1983, right after pretty much Dave got sent home. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Hold on a minute, I might be wrong about that. I know they formed in 1983. I'm thinking they played their first gig on New Year's Eve of 1983. I think that's what it is because Dave pretty much formed Megadeth right when he was coming home on the bus after being kicked out of Metallica, And the first track he ever wrote was called Megadeth, which ironically wouldn't end up on an album till So Far So Good So What, titled Set the World Afire, you know. But let's go on good old Wikipedia here. Even Wikipedia's not always right either. So, Megadeth. Alright, so yeah. Formed in Los Angeles in 1983, obviously. And Dave Ellefson would be obviously the first bassist of Megadeth. There was not a bass player before that. There's a legend out there that there was another bass player before Dave Ellefson joined. That's not true at all. It's always been Dave Ellefson being the original bassist of Megadeth, and how they started Megadeth. I mean, everybody pretty much knows this. You know, pretty much how they started Megadeth is, they were living in an apartment complex together at the time. Dave Ellefson lived down below, and Dave Mustaine lived up top, obviously. And one morning, Dave Ellefson was, you know, playing Run with the Devil very early morning on bass, or yeah, very early in the morning on bass, and it woke Dave Mustaine up after being hungover from drinking. And I guess Dave was banging on the floor for him to knock it off. So then Dave Ellefson would go upstairs, knock on the door, and pretty much ask Dave Mustaine where he could get beer at, or beer and cigarettes, and Dave's like, down the store at the liquor store, and yeah, that's pretty much how Megadeth began. So, okay, now what I'm looking for is like early members. There were early members before Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson. And Kerry King was in a very early installment of Megadeth. Not a full member of Megadeth, but I believe he played 4 shows with Megadeth in early 1984. Basically, at the time, deciding if he wants to be in Megadeth or still be in Slayer. And obviously, Kerry King made the right choice, I think, by continuing on with Slayer. And I'm just looking for the band members here. Let's see, okay. right, members. So got the early members in here. I know an early member was Lee Roush. He was like an early drummer for Megadeth. I do know that. Okay. Now I don't want session players. I want like old members prior to. Okay. Okay, lineups. Okay. All right. April of '83 till September of '83. The lineup was Dave Mustaine, guitars, obviously. Greg Handevit, guitars. David Ellefson, bass. And Richard Gerard on drums. That's like an early lineup, like the earliest known lineup of Megadeth. Wow, I never actually knew this one. John Cyrus, the vocalist of Agent Still, actually did vocals for Megadeth for a little bit. This would have been September to December of 1983. Dave Mustaine on guitars, piano. Dave Ellefson bass. Dijon Carruthers drums. Another very early, excuse me, another very early lineup. December of '83 to April of '84, you had Dave Mustaine on guitars, and this is where Dave Mustaine started doing lead vocals. So yeah, guitar, piano, vocals, and you had Dave Ellefson on bass and backing vocals. Okay, this is where Lee Roush comes into the picture on drums, and Kerry King had a short little stint in Megadeth too. So then they went down to a three-piece for a little bit. Dave Mustaine guitars, obviously. Dave Ellefson bass and Lee Roush on drums. Which gets us into the first well-known classic lineup of Megadeth, where you got Dave Ellefson, Dave Mustaine on guitars, vocals, and piano. Dave Ellefson on bass, Gar Samuelson on drums, and Chris Poland on guitars. Okay, that's where we get up to the lineup that would record Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. And what's going on? Metal Madness, Jeff66, how's it going? Metal Connection, how's it going, man? Good to see you guys here. Still waiting on me, Metal Mike, to show up so I can get this episode rolling here. So, anyways, Jeff, I loved your deep dive on King's X, excuse me. They're really good stuff. I did listen to it. Had no clue that you were going to have the member of Panopticon on it for your retrospective. That was pretty cool. Really cool black metal band too, by the way. And I believe they're based out of Kentucky. They got a very unique sound. I really like it. Panopticon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, really cool band. And yeah, that's a really cool deep dive that you guys did on King's X. So yeah, if you guys in the chat want to chat for a little bit. I know White said he'd join here in the next 45 minutes to an hour. I honestly did not really know who else to ask to do this deep dive for Megadeth. I mean, I know there's definitely people out there. Oh, nice. Which album were you listening to? I think you sent it to the room, but I can't remember. Megadeth is a huge task. I mean, for me, this is going to be easy because I know these albums. I mean, I've been listening to Megadeth since 1988, so I mean, I got into Megadeth. Oh, geez, it must have been. It wasn't too long after I got into Metallica. In fact, it was pretty much right around the same exact time, like around September, October of '88. And the first Megadeth album I heard was "So Far So Good So What," and it came out that year too. So, well, how I first actually heard Megadeth, my friend had this compilation cassette tape called Thrash Metal, and it had Megadeth. I'm trying to think what bands were on that cassette. I used to actually have that cassette too. It had Anthrax on it, Megadeth, Nuclear Assault, Death Angel, Lizzie Borden. Yeah, it was weird. It was called thrash metal, but there was a couple bands on it that were definitely not thrash, or definitely not thrash metal. Oh, Death Angel was on that cassette tape too. Yeah, Vinnie Vincent's Invasion was on that cassette tape too. Figure that one out. Halloween was on it. The Great Cat was on it, and Sabotage was on it. So that's pretty much how I first heard all those bands. Marshall, what's going on? I'm just still waiting for Mean Metal Mike to show up so we can talk about the first album. But yeah, man, that's pretty much how I first heard Megadeth. I've been a fan of Megadeth ever since. I pretty much followed every single album that's come out since then. Hell yeah, totally. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Great Cat is a freaking nut. Jesus Christ, she is fucking nut. There was a time where I thought that was maybe an act, but no, it's no act. That's really how she is. One crazy fucking woman. A very, very good guitar player, but so full of her damn self, too. Oh, I could imagine. I wouldn't want to work with her. Hell no. I mean, my goodness, could you imagine trying to interview the Great Cat? Holy shit. God. Yeah, that's really how she is. She's really fucking crazy like that. You know what? So does her YouTube. That's what her YouTube channel basically looks like. Yeah, I was gonna say, how old is she? She's got to be like around 60 now. I'm looking her age up right now, to be honest. The great cat, here she is. Real name Kathleen Thomas. Well, she isn't quite 60 yet. Getting there, though. She's 56. Oh, man, I'm kind of wondering that, too. He said we planned this pretty much for weeks. I mean, I'm willing to have a substitute come on if that's what it takes. I mean, I could do this myself. I could do it myself. Speed King, what's going on? Still waiting to see if Mean Metal Mike shows up for this retrospective, or not a retrospective, a deep dive into the discography of Megadeth. Alright, I could do that. Speaking of Megadeth, I will be seeing Megadeth on Saturday, and so will Mean Metal Mike. Okay. Yeah, I don't see him online here on Facebook either, so. Alright, I'll send you a link here. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be my third time seeing Megadeth. I actually met Dave Mustaine the first time I saw Megadeth way back in 2005. Oh, nice. You won't be disappointed. I really enjoy the new Megadeth CD. I know some people don't care for it, but whatever. To each their own. I enjoy it. Oops. Send a link to Ryan here. Okay. Busy listening to the headlining band. Dude, I still gotta check that band out. I keep forgetting to check them out, and I'm gonna be seeing them on Saturday. I probably ought to know what the hell I'm gonna hear. I mean, I could surprise myself too and not even listen to it at all till showtime. And they're called Who? Spelled H-U? I'm not familiar with them. They sound kind of interesting, though, I guess. All right.
Okay, there we go. Apologies, everybody, but I don't like. I had the feeling he was asleep, so
I'm kind of figuring on that too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Yeah, but apologies, everybody. But yeah, I was just over on his Twitch channel talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as you could probably tell, there's some. I'm sure there any comments I made. Oh, apparently my comments aren't even shown on here. Ugh. God dang it. Anyway, yes. Megadeth, right?
Megadeth, yes.
Yes. Killing is my business.
Yep, doing the first 8 albums up till Risk, and I'm going to save
yeah.
the rest of the albums for another video because it'd be way too long of a stream, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Pretty much.
Right. So Killing Is My Business, released on June.
1985.
Yeah, I think it's released on June. Oh, gee, I don't want to give a wrong date here. What's it, June 1st? No. I should know this.
Let me pull up Spotify or something. Maybe it'll show on the day, but I know it was 1985.
Right. It was
I know the
definitely
year. Yeah, it was in
definitely-
the. Let me see. Megadeth. Let me see here. Surely there's an original on here. Yep, it says, does it have a date on this one? Oh, shoot. Doesn't even have the date on here. Shoot, I'm having pulling up on my Xbox, but it's not even on. It doesn't show the date. Oh, it shows the year, but it doesn't show the actual date.
Megadeth.
Killing is my business, and business is good. Oh, by the way, mine will be pretty much impartial because I'm only up to with Megadeth because this was basically I've listened to all the early stuff before, so probably up to maybe Countdown. And I reviewed Countdown with you because I do like Countdown.
Right, yes.
But I think after that, what's the date?
June 12th, 1985.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Released on Combat Records. Yep. And producers were Dave Mustaine and Carrot Faye.
Never heard of that one.
And the album clocks in at 31 minutes and 10 seconds. Quite a short album.
Yeah, short album, but then again, you also have to realize the next year, Rain and Blood would be only 28 minutes. So
that's very true, yes. So, yeah. Right, there's the original pressing of Killing Is My Business.
Yeah, mine's a little bit different. It has the Vic Rattlehead one, and then it has some bones like crossing over. That's the other version.
Is it that one?
Yeah, that one. That's the one. Yes.
Yep. And plus, I got the 2000. I think this was 2018 or 2019. The Final Kill. So I got all three of them.
Now, there's one that's on here from 2018.
That's the one. Yep, the Final Kill.
Oh, yeah, that's what it just says from 2018. It just has. Yeah, there is a T. There is something like a dash and a T. Yeah, it does say the Final Kill. But yeah, it's pretty much just that, but a lot more tracks on it, pretty much.
Right. And there's a version also of Killing Is My Business that does not have these boots on it. I used to have that years ago, but I don't have it no more. Well, at the time, the track got removed from the album because Nancy Sinatra was not very happy with the track. Let's put it that way. Because of what Dave did to the lyrics, obviously. So yeah, 8 tracks. I mean, 1 cover track, obviously. And this album is just straight up pissed off sounding. I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Dave is pissed on this freaking album.
Of course it is. Yes, you got to let go from Metallica for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. And
at that point, Metallica already were 2 albums in at that point when he released "Killing Is My Business."
That's very true. Yep, that is very true. And so you're kind of new to Megadeth. Some recommendations. Okay, well that's definitely Countdown to Extinction.
Yes.
Rust in Peace, definitely.
Absolutely. And I would say Peace Sells. We're about to talk about this. We're about to talk about all of those. But those are the 3 essential Megadeth albums to get into. Peace Sells, but who's buying, Rust in Peace, and Countdown to Extinction. Hands down.
Yep. Number the ones I would start with. I guess even So Far So Good So What. I mean, it's an earlier album too, but any of the first 5 Megadeth albums. I
Yeah,
would
pretty
start.
much.
But yeah, yeah, this album's very angry. The production's very raw. They had an $8,000 budget going into this album. I think they only actually spent $4,000 on this album because the rest of the money basically went to booze and drugs and food.
Yeah, and obviously beat and food. Yeah, pretty much because they were, like you said, Dave Mustaine was pissed. I think I remember listening to this. This was a while ago. I just remember it was, it was like, it was kind of those early thrash albums. Kind of those angry, energetic, pissed off, and all that stuff, and just want to let it all go and stuff like that. There's
Right.
outside of the cover, there's only one song that I can remember from that album. That's Mechanics.
Yep.
Because
obviously.
that would basically be that's his version of the Four Horsemen. And to be quite honest, I'm like I prefer the Four Horsemen over Mechanics, but I like Mechanics, but I'm more of a Four Horsemen guy. I love that.
So yeah, the Mechanics would definitely be the oldest track on here, considering it was written while he was still in Metallica and recorded while he was still in Metallica on the No Life Till demo. Yep. So yeah, but you got Last Rites Love to Death. What an intro! Probably the only time Megadeth or Dave Mustaine played piano on the beginning of a Megadeth album that I can remember. And yeah, after the piano intro, which is a really cool intro, it just turns into an absolute blitzkrieg of riffs. The riffs are absolutely insane on this track. They're very complex. They're very hard to play on guitar. And you can definitely hear the anger in the opening riffs of Last Rites Love to Death. Just fast and furious. That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah.
And a track pretty much about how, Dave Mustaine killed his ex-girlfriend. He actually didn't do that, but it's basically a song about somebody killing their ex-girlfriend, or I could be wrong on that. It could be about wanting a girl and the girl don't want you, and you're not going to let nobody else have that girl. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a furious opener. We get into the title track, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good Again. Just more intensity, more speed. A little bit of groove on this track, though, which is kind of unique. It's kind of weird, it kind of sounds very, well, yeah, it definitely has a jazzy type of sound to it, which is weird in parts. But man, it's, again, another track that's, literally hard to play on guitar.
Yeah, I would also point out there's 3 demos. I have on Spotify. There's 3. And obviously, Last Rites Love to Death was a demo.
That's right. I forgot.
Mechanics also is a demo, but that was when he was in Metallica, pretty much.
Yeah, which the Last Rites demo is actually on both of these reissues, I believe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're the same demos that are on the reissues of Killing Is My Business. They have the same track listing, which would be Last Rites Love to Death, The Mechanics, and The Skull Beneath the Skin. And of course, the final cut has a bunch of bonus tracks and a re-recording of These Boots, which is actually a clean version of the track. So yeah, on where are we at here? Skull Beneath the Skin would be the next track.
Yeah, one of the demos. Oh, the last one of the demos, pretty much.
Now, this track does slow down a little bit, but it don't stay slow for very long. It gets pretty fast then. Just another scorching early Megadeth song that's fast and thrashy.
Yeah.
Then we get Rattlehead. Pretty much Megadeth.
Basically, the mascot. Basically, they just added Vic onto the name and basically give him a name, Vic Rattlehead. That's basically the mascot, the song for the mascot, pretty much.
Pretty much, yep. And Pretty much Megadeth's Whiplash, I would say, because it's basically about just going crazy at a metal show and moshing and headbanging, thrashing out.
Yeah.
Really cool track though. Probably the fastest track on the album. Then we get a deeper track on here, Chosen Ones. Another pretty fast track. This one to me has kind of a Motorhead vibe to it. I hear a lot of Motorhead in this track. Probably faster than Motorhead, but yeah, it's pretty fast. I noticed too in the midsection of this track, Dave Ellefson does a pretty cool bass line in it before it gets back into the speed. Then you got Looking Down the Cross, which is probably the slowest track on the album. It begins pretty dark and melodic, but then it speeds up near the end and turns into a full-blown thrasher. And then you got the Mechanics.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. Here's the thing I think about this. Mechanics is basically the Four Horsemen, but without that long, elongated middle section. It's just, kind of the beginning parts going into the chorus, but they don't have that, what's the section I'm thinking of when I think of?
Oh, you're talking about that. You're talking about that winter, that Sweet Home Alabama type of section. That I think that's a section.
Yeah, some of that area. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they don't. Mechanics pretty much does not have it. It's basically Four Horsemen, but just cut out that middle section. Even the melodic solo from Kirk on it, pretty much.
Right. I mean, yeah, I probably prefer the Four Horsemen myself. I mean, I still like the Mechanics, but yeah, the Four Horsemen's probably. Yeah,
Four Horsemen's way better. It's one of Metallica's early career, one of their highlights, pretty much.
I mean, yeah,
it's hard to even top it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Dave's version of the Four Horsemen is definitely faster, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
Yeah, exactly. You can be fast and aggressive with it, but it doesn't mean it's going to be better.
But yeah, it's still a pretty cool track and all, and pretty legendary. So yeah, that's Killing. Killing is my business, and business is good in a nutshell. And
yeah, I didn't forget about the cover. The cover closes out the album pretty much. But we already know. We already just talked about the cover pretty much.
Which I kind of screwed up because These Boots is actually track 4 on the first half of the record before.
But on this one, on here, it's the last track before the demos.
Oh yeah, that would be the re-recording from 2018. Where they totally re-recorded.
This one is the original, just only the 3 demos of Last Rites, Mechanics, and The Skull Beneath the Skin. These Boots is the closer.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But, yep, and These Boots, don't really got to talk about it. It's a cover track. It's basically...
Yeah, it's just cover. That's all it is, pretty much.
It's basically a thrash speed metal version of These Boots. And moving on, we go to next.
Pretty much that. Yeah, no lineup change on this one, so it's pretty much the same lineup. I think it's Mustaine, Ellefson, Samuelson, and Poland, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they didn't change for the first 2.
And it's weird how we're doing this episode because this would be the 30. Holy crap! Yeah, today would be the 36th anniversary of this album. Because it came out on September 19th of 1986.
Oh, wow. Nice.
First album on a major label, Capitol Records, still distributed by Combat. But we got Peace Sells, but who's buying?
Yep.
Apologize for all that glare, and stay away from this version. This is the 2004 reissue, where they totally where Dave pretty much went in and basically remixed the whole record.
Pretty much they did it. Yeah, he pretty much did that for around that time. He did it also for Rust in Peace and Countdown.
Yep.
So he was doing a lot of basically I think made its label a long time ago, like the 2004 versions of Countdown and Rust in Peace.
Right. So yeah, Megadeth Peace Sells, but who's buying? Has a better production.
Yes.
It's definitely more of a budget on this album. And yeah, you got 8 tracks again. The album clocks in at roughly 36 minutes and 12 seconds.
Oh, I should mention there's a few songs on this version I'm seeing here to have I think a Randy Burns mix.
Oh yeah, that's the 2004 reissue.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what this one is. So it's got the Randy Burns mix version, but it still has the other ones pretty much.
Right, and that's pretty much why I bought it at the time, just for the bonus stuff on those reissues.
Yeah, the Randy Burns mix pretty much.
Which you can kind of tell a difference. I mean, it sounds a little different, but like as far as through and remixing the whole freaking record, it just don't sound right to me.
I've listened to this album. I think, this was another one I listened to a while back. So I remember I can understand the gripe of the cover. I ain't superstitious. I think it's damn near, barring the cover, pretty much everybody keeps saying, if you don't count the cover, the album is perfect.
See, it's freaking weird because back in the 80s, like a lot of these thrash bands, they would do a cover song on their albums. Like, did Anthrax do it?
I don't think Metallica ever did a cover on any of their studio albums. They would do them on on singles and EPs and obviously on the, all that stuff, but never on an official album. I think Metallica did Slayer? Did Slayer at one point do covers on their studio full length?
Not that I can remember, no.
So yeah, Slayer but I know Metallica. I know. Oh, they have?
Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Metallica is the only one where their studio albums don't have a cover song on there.
I take that back. Slayer did do a cover song on "South of Heaven." They covered Judas. Oh yeah, they covered Judas Priest as dissident aggressor. Yeah.
Oh, what album is that from? That's got to be a '70s album. Sadwings? No, Sin. Oh, Sin After Sin. Oh, wow. I never knew that was a cover.
Yeah. It's weird because when I first heard that album way back in the early 90s, I think I first heard that album.
I used to own South of Heaven, and I never knew that was a cover song. It's a pretty interesting song. And I was like, that's not out of the norm for Slayer. But then hearing you saying that's a Judas Priest cover from Sin After Sin, I'm like, wait, what? What? They covered Judas Priest, a thrash metal band that sounds like a death metal band doing a cover of a band that sounds like they're power metal.
Then they actually covered Inagata Devita too, but that was never on a Slayer album. It was for a movie.
Jesus.
I forget what movie.
Wow, I never watched. They covered the 17 minutes. Oh my God.
They shortened it down to like 4 minutes. They didn't do.
Oh, okay, yeah, they didn't do all 17 minutes. Okay, so they shortened it down. Okay, fair enough. But that's just so weird. I didn't expect that.
But yeah, a lot of those early thrash bands a lot of them did covers on their studio album. You're right, though. Metallica never done it.
Yeah, they've only done it on I think a Garage Inc. covers album. Then they did it on the 598 EP, and then they did it on the freaking Am I Evil on the Creeping Death single. They've only ever put covers on singles, EPs, or covers albums, pretty much.
Pretty much, yep, exactly. So produced by Randy Bird, released September 19th, 1986 on Combat Records, first major label album, 36 minutes and 12 seconds long. Man, this freaking album's just iconic. Everybody knows this freaking album that's in the Megadeth.
Yeah.
Wake Up Dead is like one of the coolest freaking openers to a freaking thrash metal album. I mean, quintessentially, it's pretty much an instrumental. There's not much lyrics in this track. I mean, Dave says a few lines in it. But man, the instrumental sections on this are so freaking good. Then you got The Conjuring, which is just good thrasher, pretty dark song. I mean, you can definitely tell
Yeah.
on this album too. The writing matured a little compared to "Killing Is My Business." It's still thrashy, but there's a bit more groove on this record. You know,
Yeah.
and definitely probably a bit more technicality too, and a little bit more melody. But yeah, The Conjuring, another excellent track, and everybody knows this track.
Oh yeah, Peace Sells, the title track, pretty much. That infamous bass intro from Ellison. I mean, come on.
Right.
You know that kind of this interesting gallopy, kind of almost, I would say, a slower paced gallopy bass riff from Ellison. It's one of the more iconic, and then obviously probably near the end of when they say peace. You know, when he says Peace Sells, but who's buying? You pretty much just, you know, it's one of Megadeth's iconic songs. I mean, for Christ's sake, come on,
I mean, that intro got used for MTV for a lot of years, like on Headbangers Ball. Headbangers Ball got used, and it got used on MTV News back in the '90s. So yeah, it's a very iconic bass line, very memorable. Excellent title track. What can I say? It's fucking Peace Sells, but who's buying? Plus,
yeah. Are you saying?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this would also be the very first music video Megadeth ever made. I might be a little wrong on that. It might be it might be Wake Up Dead. It's either Wake Up Dead or Peace Sells. They did do music videos for those two tracks though.
Yeah.
And you talk about a killer track. So then we get into Devil's Island. Devil's Island, man. Oh, I should say something else about Peace Sells too. It kind of began here too. Yeah, this far back it actually really began, which you would hear a lot of in '90s Megadeth with the choruses, you know, and kind of having more of that mid-paced type of rock, or I don't, you know, more mid-paced heavy metal type of film.
Yeah, pretty much what they would go and explore later on like albums like Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of really began here, to be honest. So then you got Devil's Island, again another excellent track. Oh man, just a really awesome track. I mean, what more can be said? Then we flip it over to Good Morning Black Friday.
Yep.
Dude, I love this. I love this freaking track. And this is like a little taste of, yeah, this track to me, especially in the beginning, at least the first 2 minutes of it, is basically a taste of what you would hear in future Megadeth 2, where it's more melodic, you know, because it's got that clean guitar intro. But then it turns into a full throttle, you know, thrash metal tune. Then you got Bad Omen, pretty much a deep cut on here, probably really the only deep cut on here. Still pretty thrashy. Then you got the cover, I Ain't Superstitious. Just
yeah, it was just no, it's just no.
It's definitely goopy shit. Definitely, the weakest on the album.
Yeah.
Then the last track, My Last Words.
Much words. Yep.
My second favorite all-time Megadeth track. I love this freaking track. I wish they'd put it back in their live, or I wish they would play it live. I know they played it live back in the early days, and the track originally was called Burnt Offerings. Or no, I take that back. I'm wrong here. See, a couple of these tracks they were playing before Killing Is My Business came out, and they had different titles. I think Bad Omen was originally called Burnt Offerings. They were playing that live back in 80.
Oh, wow, that's...
Oh, okay, My Last Words was originally called Next Victim. And they were they were playing that live way back in 1984, prior to, before Killing Is My Business came out. And Wake Up Dead 2, I believe, was another early one from that period also. So yeah, kind of interesting. Anyways, that's Peace Sells, but who's buying in a nutshell? Legendary album, killer album cover. what more can be said? So moving
Yeah.
on. Now, a lot
Yeah,
of
I think
people.
they would have a. Yeah, this would be basically a lineup change at this point. Their first official lineup change on a
Yeah.
studio album because they don't have Poland and Samuelson.
So yeah, around this period is when Garth Samuelson and Chris Poland got fired from the band because the heroin addiction got so bad in the band, and it got to the point where Chris Poland was basically pawning the band's music gear to get his drug fix, and well, that got him fired. So then we
Yeah,
got
but
so, so then we get Jeff Young on guitars and Chuck Billier on drums, who
yeah,
was
they were just villains at this point, pretty much.
pretty much. So Chuck Billier was basically a drum tech for Chris Poland, and that's pretty much how he got the gig in Megadeth.
Hmm.
And Jeff Young, I'm not exactly sure what Jeff Young's background is, but to me, Jeff Young definitely seems like a very odd pick, or a very odd fit for Megadeth. I mean, still a really good guitar player and all, but you can definitely tell he's not quite the Dave Mustaine, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
Dave Mustaine definitely had that edge back then,
Yep.
and was a pretty scary guy back in the '80s.
Yep.
So,
Pretty much.
so we get into the third album, released on January 19th, 1988.
So
On
far, yep. So far, so good. So freaking what? Pretty much.
Yeah.
I just had the freaking in there because I don't want to say the actual F word. But yeah, so far so good. So what?
There you go. Like Ryan said.
Yeah, so far so good. So freaking what?
So this album was my introduction to Megadeth way back in 1988, at only 9 years old. So I definitely go back a long time with this band. Anyways, so this album, a lot of people say it's a step down from, you know, Killing Is My Business and Peace Sells at the time.
Yeah, because thinking about this, I remember Maiden Slave did a review for this, and he kind of had it be the same score as an album from the same year, and Justice for All. He gave both of them an 8, pretty much, and
Yeah.
it's there's some, I guess, some similarities in some cases. It's a different lineup at this point. Both have different lineups. Obviously, with Metallica with the bass, and we all know how infamous that is.
Yeah, that's.
And then this one has a different guitarist and drummer.
Right.
As this kind of fills the gap of the classic lineup all the way up to pretty much what everyone calls the golden lineup of Megadeth. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
We'll get into that.
Which this album, I'm trying to think. It was produced by Paul Lanny. Yeah, the production's probably a bit of a step down on this album too, compared to Peace Sells. I mean, it sounds weird in spots. It's weird. When I was younger, I didn't really notice it, but as I got older, I definitely noticed it more. How the production is a bit of a step down.
Yeah, even some of the songs for me are a step down as well. Even I definitely kind of would agree with what Maiden Slave had said. I do think this is an 8 out of 10 type of album. It's not. It's got some great moments on here, but it's there's some moments on it.
And this too would have been around the period too where Dave Mustaine was really messed up on drugs. Like he was at his height when it comes to his drug abuse. Why I think the album turned out the way it did.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean you got 8 tracks again of one cover. You get the Sex Pistols cover of Anarchy in the UK, which has been covered by quite a few bands, Motley Crue to be one example of that. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, this album begins with "Into the Lungs of Hell," an instrumental, which I think's a pretty cool instrumental, pretty thrashy. "Set the World Afire." Now here's where the very first Megadeth track appears, ironically on the third album, originally titled Megadeth. The first track Dave Mustaine wrote on that ride home back from being fired from Metallica when he was coming back from New York to LA. So yeah, "Set the World Afire" was the very first track he ever wrote, and it ended up here on "So Far, So Good, So What,"
Yeah.
which I think's a killer track. Probably, definitely one of the best on the album. "Anarchy in the UK," the Sex Pistols cover. I used to like this more when I was younger. As I've gotten older, it hasn't really aged.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, out of all the covers in these first few, this one's probably the best one, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
I'd probably prefer put that one above. It would be Anarchy first, I Ain't Superstitious second, These Boots third. But like I said, it's not saying much, pretty much.
Right, totally. So then we get to "Mary Jane." I love this fucking track. A deep cut. I don't even know if they ever played this track live. I really enjoy it though. I really enjoy this track. I mean, it kind of begins melodic, then it gets kind of thrashy. Now I noticed something about the end of this riff. When it speeds up, it kind of reminds me of "Welcome Home Sanitarium" a little bit when it gets faster.
Ooh. Oh yeah, the fast section was that that riff or something like that.
Yeah, like if you listen to them back to back, they almost sound. I'm not saying they sound identical because they're definitely played different, but it sounds like. I mean, who knows if Dave had something to do with maybe writing that riff back in the day. But if you listen to the ending riff of "Welcome Home Sanitarium" and compare it to the ending of "Mary Jane," there's a little bit of similarities.
The opening riff. What is it? That riff or something?
No, I'm
Or
thinking
is it like the very, very opening riffs?
That riff.
That riff was okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it kind of has that vibe to it. I mean, there's a legend out there that there's rips on "Master of Puppets" that were even Dave's too. Not like a lot of rips. I think there was a rip in like "Leper Messiah" that might have been Dave's. Who knows? To be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So then we flip it over. Pull over, shithead. It's the cops. So we got 502.
502, yep.
Obviously, a track about drunk driving. I think that's what the track is about, though. I think that's what the track is about. Like
Yeah.
Dave's drunk and behind the wheel and running from the cops. Probably one of the weaker tracks on the album, to be honest.
Yeah.
I still kind of enjoy it, though. I probably enjoyed it more when I was younger.
Yeah.
But then we get into the masterpiece on the album.
"In My Darkest Hour."
Oh yeah.
I think this is one of their more. Don't they play this live? I'm pretty sure. There's only maybe a handful on here they might play live, and this might be one of them.
Yep, they still do play this one live.
Yeah.
It's an awesome song. What more could be said? And this is the track where Dave pretty much wrote it all in one swoop. Pretty much dedicating the music of this track to Cliff Burton after he passed away.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now, the song's not about Cliff Burton, but musically, it was written for Cliff Burton, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, they came in at probably the same time in Metallica, but Wow, they wrote 2 songs. Metallica and Megadeth wrote 2 songs about Cliff. In My Darkest Hour and To Live Is To Die. Could you imagine those 2 side by side? That would be, whoo!
Man, that would be something else, man. Totally.
Yeah, that would be like, whoo.
Alright, so then we get into Liar. Now this track right here is, you can definitely tell Dave's writing about somebody. And it's pretty obvious who he's writing about at the time. He's writing about Chris Poland. Because he was fucking pissed at Chris at the time. I mean, this track, honestly, there's really not much to this track. It's just fast and pissed off. I kind of get a kick out of the track still to this day, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The hook and mouth ends of the track.
Yeah.
This track right here was actually the very first Megadeth track I ever heard. Way back in '88. I was talking about that earlier in the stream. Still love it. Definitely, this track definitely is fast. Has a punky edge to it. I like the bass lines that Dave Ellefson is doing in this track. And it's basically a track about the PMRC, basically saying fuck the PMRC. And that's pretty much the end of...
Oh, yeah, pretty...
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was basically about to say, basically the PMRC is basically these stupid parental advisory stickers, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, fuck you, PA stickers, fuck you.
Exactly, fuck your PMRC. But no, killer track. Man. So yeah, this album's definitely not bad. It's definitely, I guess out of the first 4 Megadeth albums, or first 5 Megadeth albums, it would probably be the weakest, but it's still a good album.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's the album that got me into Megadeth, so.
Yes. But enough of that album. Let's get into a masterpiece, shall we? Yeah.
But before we do that...
Okay, out goes those 2 guys, pretty much. In comes, on drums, the late great, rest in peace, Nick Menza, and guitar virtuoso, whatever it is, Marty Friedman.
Alright, so before we do that, we got somebody else entering the stream to join us.
Finally! Is he... Oh, wait, who is it? Is it who I think it is?
It's Wyatt.
Better... Oh, it's Wyatt! Wyatt! Get in here, Wyatt! Go!
So, we'll get his thoughts on the first 3 albums before we move on to Rust in Motherfucking Peace.
A freaking thrash masterpiece. Only 2 thrash metal masterpieces exist.
You got that right. Alright, so link is out there.
Come on in, Wyatt. We're already well into this.
So while we're waiting, we're going to take a little commercial break and whisper you the Andy Griffin Show theme song. Okay, fuck that.
I grew up with that show. Love that show.
I did too. I still love it too.
I may be young, but god dang, I've watched it. I think who would have had it on? Either my grandparents, but that's a show I loved growing up as a kid, even as a teenager and stuff like that. Love the Andy Griffith Show.
I grew up watching it too, and I'll still watch it from time to time.
Yeah.
Oh, Thrasher be Thrash, Frederick, welcome to the stream.
Frederick.
We got some new people here. Marshall, is that it, Marshall?
Yeah, Marshall. Nice to meet you here.
Marshall. Welcome to the Metal Bastards Hangout Podcast YouTube channel. Hope you're enjoying this Megadeth deep dive here tonight so far.
Yes.
Just waiting to see if Wyatt shows up.
Ugh.
Send me a link, guys. We're waiting for you.
Yes, he should be in here.
Just making sure that link's okay. It's sent. All right.
Yes.
I'll see. Yeah, it looks like Mean Metal Mike will probably not be joining us tonight.
Yeah, I knew he was probably sleeping. All that planning, he doesn't even show. All they're just sleeping. Just asleep.
Right.
I'm sure it's for a reason. Hopefully.
Probably. It's alright. Jeff, Metal Madness 66. What's going on? And Wyatt is here so we can continue the show on.
Yes! Wyatt!
Hey, what's up?
Not much. So before we move on to the Thrasher piece, that is Rust in Peace, give us
We need
thoughts.
yeah. Give us your thoughts on Killing is my business and business is good. Peace sells, but who's buying, and so far so good. So fucking what?
Well, the only album that I don't really know is the third one.
So far so good. So fucking what?
Yeah, I know In My Darkest Hour, and that's it.
Okay. What about the first two?
Well, the first one's a masterpiece. It's a lot more thrash than Metallica was.
True.
I could tell. Yeah, if I had to choose between Killing Is My Business and Kill 'Em All, I'd probably prefer Killing Is My Business, even though I'm a big Metallica fan and all that stuff. I personally prefer Killing Is My Business over Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, me too. It's in
I
your
would agree.
face.
Just a pissed off thrash metal record. All right. And Peace Sells. What do you think of Peace Sells? I probably shouldn't have to ask that, but
That's a 10 out of 10 for me.
hell yeah, definitely.
Even barring the cover. Because both have cover songs on it. You do know that, right?
Yeah. I think Peace Sells has These Boots and...
No, Killing has These Boots. Peace Sells has I Ain't Superstitious.
Oh, yeah. Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah,
who,
that's
no, who originally did sing that? Okay, I Ain't Superstitious. Where the hell are we at here? Alright. I think it was Willie Dixon. I just want to make sure I'm right here. Okay. Yep. Willie Dixon was the one who originally did I Ain't Superstitious.
I thought it was Stevie Wonder.
Oh, Stevie Wonder's was called Call Me Superstitious. I believe so. I believe. So anyways, moving on. Obviously.
the masterpiece. Yeah! Like I said, only 2 albums, in my opinion, that I think are perfect. Perfect. 10. Perfect score. 10 out of 10. 5 stars. Rest in peace. And the obvious Master of Puppets. Those are the only 2 that I can think of in the thrash metal genre that I think are absolutely fucking perfect. No flaws. Nada. Production, everything. Guitars, vocals, bass, drums, everything.
I could say that And Justice for All is better, but...
Fuck Lars for turning down the bass. I wish I could turn my camera and I could give him double bird, 2 birds for Lars Ulrich for doing that crap. But even then,
Wasn't
there's
it
probably
James?
one.
Or was it
Either
Lars?
James, no, either James or Lars or something. Something. Fuck those. Fuck them. What the hell?
It was Lars.
It was. I mean, but even then, I will say,
back.
even I will tell him. Basically, I'm like, I would have gone back to the past. Told Lars, keep the drums sound perfect. The drums sound fine or perfect and all that stuff. Bass needs to be up. If you change it, I'm gonna come back and beat you with a goddamn baseball bat. You piece of shit.
Hell yeah, there we go. So yeah, anyways. Rust in peace.
Perfect.
You're gonna like this.
Now, if memory serves me right, they started recording Rust in Peace. Or Dave started working on Rust in Peace. Wow.
You got the shirt. You got the shirt of Rust in Peace. Nice. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Man, I got my fucking So Far So Good So What shirt on.
I don't even have a Megadeth shirt.
I got another Megadeth shirt too. I should have worn that one today.
Let me grab this. Let me see what I do think I have. If I can find it in here. Where's my copy of it? I think. Yes. I do have one album from them, but we'll get to it shortly. But yes, Rust in Peace is one I need to get. I need it. I must have it.
I just ordered the original Rust in Peace on eBay. I found it cheap the other day. I'm talking the original copy before they remastered it. I had it years ago on cassette tape and CD. I should have held on to them. But I luckily found a copy, and it should be in the mail here in the next couple days. So I don't have it for this stream, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's the 2004
Lizzie Ben.
Oh yeah, Ben, you froze.
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, okay, there you. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank God. All right.
Yeah, let's not start having that trouble.
Yeah, listen now. Yeah, you had to refroze for a second there, but all good now.
All right. Yeah, we can't freeze for Rust in Peace.
You can't. We can't. Not for this masterpiece.
Blasphemy.
So going into Rust in Peace, I believe Dapes actually started writing Rust in Peace during So Far So Good So What.
Yeah, he was writing it, but he was saving the Rust in Peace stuff for what is essentially known as the golden lineup of Megadeth, pretty much. And they would record all sorts of freaking memorable albums of Megadeth's career. You know, this album, Countdown, Euthanasia, Cryptic Writings. I don't wait. No. Was the golden lineup on Risk? Was the golden lineup on Risk?
Marty Friedman,
I'm sure
but Nick Menza was not there.
Was not on Risk. So you had what was it? Jimmy DeGrasso, wasn't it?
Yes, you're right. Yep, Jimmy.
Yeah,
DeGrasso.
Jimmy was in there. Yeah, he would. Yeah, Jimmy was on that.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
So
He'll be right back.
All right. Okay. So Rust in Peace. Okay. Now on the demos, I bought all the 2004 reissues, and it's got the original demos of Rust in Peace on here, which Chris Pullen actually returned to the band for a little bit, and he plays lead guitar on the demos. But obviously Chris Pullen would not stick around. So yeah, on the demos, which would be, okay, on the demo it's 3 tracks. Yeah, okay. So it's Rust in Peace Polaris, Holy Wars to Punishment Due, and Take No Prisoners. On the Rust in Peace demos, where Chris Pullen is actually playing the guitar solos. And they are definitely very different sounding. Not sure exactly how Rust in Peace would have worked if Chris Pullen would have stayed in the band, because his solo style is way different compared to Marty Friedman's, obviously.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I mean, they sound good, but I'm sorry. I think Marty Friedman definitely does a better job. If you listen to him back to back, you can definitely tell.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, they started recording this as far back. Well, not recording it, but working on it as far back as 1987 during the recording sessions for So Far, So Good, So What. And good thing Dave saved these tracks because
Pretty much.
Yeah, I definitely would not want that So Far, So Good, So What lineup playing on Rust in Peace.
Yeah, pretty much. They were just, like I said, they were just fill-ins on that album for basically the transition from, like I said, the classic lineup to essentially the golden lineup.
So Nick Menza basically joined the band in 1989. For a little bit, Megadeth was actually just a three-piece. And I'm trying to look for it now. What did I do with it? I just had it. Hold on a minute, guys. I will be right back.
All right, you will. All right, let me go through some comments here. What we got here? Yeah, Rust in Peace made Megadeth huge. Absolutely. They became pretty much big at that point.
Yeah, I got all my Megadeth albums. I only have like 7, but that's good enough for me. Megadeth.
Yeah, pretty much. But pretty much what Frederick. Yeah, you are right. Rust in Peace made Megadeth a huge deal at that point because it's insane how freaking good they got with that album alone.
Well, it actually started with Peace Sells because it had the video on MTV for a long time.
Yeah. Let me see. And talking about King's X, but pretty much. Oh, there's Ben. You're back.
Yep. Had to find this.
What's that?
The Shocker soundtrack.
These are all my.
The only reason I'm bringing this up because this would be Nick Menza's first appearance on drums for the cover of No More Mr. Nice Guy, the Alice Cooper.
Okay, if they did a cover of that, I'm sure that's the best one, the best cover they ever done.
Pretty cool cover, yep, definitely. I mean, so yeah, I pulled that out because this would actually be Nick Menza's debut on not on an actual Megadeth track, but a cover.
Yeah.
For a soundtrack movie. And Marty was not in the band yet, so that's the only one they recorded as a three-piece. And Dave was so fucking messed up on drugs at that point, he couldn't even function during the video shoot. He was so damn messed up.
Yeah.
But then we get into Rust in Peace. Dave actually got sober for this album. He gave up drugs. I'm pretty sure he quit drinking, too, when he was working on Rust in Peace. Probably why the album sounds so fucking good, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. Pretty much.
So you get Marty Friedman in the band from Cacophony, and obviously Marty Friedman was in Hawaii early on, and Marty Friedman put out a pretty badass solo album in '88 called Dragon Kiss. He joins Megadeth. Now, going into this, there were some additions, too, for Megadeth. You had Jeff Waters of Annihilator edition. Dimebag Darrell almost joined Megadeth, but he didn't join because he wanted Vinnie Paul on drums.
Wow.
And the other one who was auditioned was Chris Oliva of Sabotage. He almost became Megadeth at that time, which that could have been interesting too.
But yeah, he went with Marty Friedman pretty much.
Exactly, yep. Which was a damn good choice, obviously.
I mean, my favorite.
I would agree, man.
Yeah.
Come on, the opening track, Holy Wars to Punishment.
Yes.
Oh, the
Five
best,
Magics.
best
Five,
opener to a Megadeth album.
Five Magic.
Yes.
Five Magics is probably my favorite.
Yeah, we'll get to that here.
Yeah, that's definitely a killer track too. Fuck,
Yeah.
it's all killer. There's no filler
Yeah.
on this album.
Nope, nada, nothing. No
Spoiler
filler.
alert, no filler.
Perfect. It's perfection.
Holy Wars to Punishment, dude. What a freaking way to begin this freaking album. And I was lucky back in 2010. It would have been the 20th anniversary for Rust in Peace, and I got to see Megadeth live up in Scranton, PA. At the time, it was in October of 2010. They played the whole entire Rust in Peace album for the 20th anniversary, and it was freaking epic.
I believe that's when Dave Ellison rejoined, pretty much.
Yep, Dave Ellison was on bass. Now, yeah, you had Chris Broderick on, guitars, and
Sean Drover on drums, but yeah, Dave Ellison comes back at that point for the first time in a while.
Which Broderick did a damn good job playing Marty Friedman's parts at that show.
Then they had Lamenzo on the albums, like 2 albums.
Yeah, he was on.
Endgame. I think he was on United Abomination.
Yeah, he was on United Abominations.
Well, he's back in the band. Well, he doesn't play on the album. It's
he does not play on the album. Yeah, Steve DiGiorgio on there. He plays on the album, but James Lamenzo's doing the tour and the music videos and all that stuff. But it's Steve DiGiorgio on the bass.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that in part 2.
Yep. I probably might not. I might have to wait to listen to that one. There's only maybe a handful from Modern Megadeth I'll listen to. That might be one of them.
Yeah, but this is a killer album.
Sorry.
It's Holy Wars to Punishment, dude. One of the greatest one of the greatest intros to a thrash metal album, period. The song's a fucking masterpiece. Do I have to say more? No, I don't think so. It's that damn good. Then we get into Hangar 18, another freaking masterpiece.
It got a music video too. These first two have music videos.
Oh, I remember when this came out. At the time, man.
Hangar 18's got a weird sci-fi video.
Yeah.
So I would have been 12 when this came out. I'm trying to think here. This came out in 90. I would have been 11.
I was just born. Or I would have been born soon.
But yeah, I would have been 11 going on 12 at the time. And I remember
-6.
There was a lot of coverage on MTV when it comes to Megadeth at the time, especially on Headbangers Ball.
I would have been -6.
-6. Happy -6th birthday, kid.
When did that come out? What month?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say the date. I believe it came out.
That can determine.
September 24th.
Yep,
3 days. 3 days before my birth. Before I was born. Literally 3 days before I was born. Wow.
Yep, September 24th, 1990. Capitol Records again, obviously. Produced by Mike Klink. So yeah, that's pretty much Megadeth in a nutshell for 1990. All right, so Hangar 18, yeah. Pretty much.
It's got a bunch of tempo changes and stuff. It's got that tempo change at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the opening rip that's basically called Cthulhu, played with distortion and played a little differently, obviously.
Well, he wrote that.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
But man, solos in this track, Jesus Christ. I think there's like 7 solo breaks in this track.
I could only play the first.
But man, these are some of the best solos laid down on tape, easily. So yeah, Hangar 18, another damn masterpiece. Then we get into Take No Prisoners. take no
Take
shit.
no shit. People shouldn't take any shit.
Hell no. I agree. I agree with that. And we don't take shit here on the Metal Bastards Hangout podcast, as you know.
Nope. No, we don't. Nope.
But take no prisoners, take no shit. Damn, this fucking track is killer. You talk about fucking speed. Like, I would say this track is probably the fastest track since Rattlehead up to this point. It's just fucking fast. It's frantic, very complex, not easy to play on guitar.
Probably the sped up version of Horseman, too.
Pretty much. Just killer. Then we get into Five Magics. Yeah, Five Magics is another masterpiece.
Master.
I mean, the build up too is really cool in this track.
Nick's here.
Oh, what's going on, Nick? How's it going? Throw some metal.
Nick! What's up, dude?
You want to join, Nick?
Man? Has he already done Megadeth? I'm sure at some point they were going to do Megadeth.
All right.
Maybe at some point. Maybe he has. Yeah. I don't know.
Let's try to... Yeah, we'll just do this one. Because we're already up to Rust in Peace now. So... Alright, anyways, back to Rust in Peace. Where were we? Or we're at Five Magics. Yeah, Five Magics is absolutely killer. What more could be said? It's just freaking classic. I definitely love the part in the track too where it goes, I master Five Magics. That part's cool as shit.
He just growls that, like, snarls.
Yep.
Nice.
So then we got Poison, What's the Cure?
I'm not too crazy about that one.
I mean, it's got that bass intro. Yeah, it's really, it's a short song.
Drags on too long, the intro does.
It probably does, but I still think it's killer. It's fast. Yeah. Like, when it gets fast, though, it's really only like a 2-minute long song. Lucretia, another killer track with some excellent guitar solos. A little more melodic and progressive on this track, too. I mean... Then we get into the masterpiece on here, Tornado of Souls. To me,
yeah.
Oh god.
This is my all-time favorite Megadeth track. The fucking solos on this track are absolutely epic. I mean, just excellent stuff on this track. There's a reason why this fucking album's a masterpiece. Then you got Dawn Patrol. Then you got Dawn Patrol, which is just a creepy intro building into Rust in Peace.
Yeah, I remember this one. I remembered this one because I remember Maiden Slave said that it sounded like the vocals sounded like Dave Ellefson.
On Dawn Patrol?
Yeah. And then he went back and corrected himself and was like, oh yeah, it's totally Mustaine.
Yeah, it's definitely Dave Mustaine. Several Count is Rising. Yeah, he's doing that fucking
weird style vocal. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man,
it's so weird.
Polaris to Envy album.
He definitely has a distinct vocal style.
Totally. Yep, totally. So yeah, Rust in Peace, Polaris to end this album. Excellent drum intro. Freaking killer track. I mean, some great riffs on this track. You get those insane Dave Mustaine vocals. I mean, just excellent stuff. I love the ending too, where it gets like really fast and thrashy. Yeah,
And then
man,
to get
that's pretty
into,
much.
and then to get into this one,
Yeah. As I'm now turning my camera on.
I got it.
I got the original. I don't know if
Yeah.
it can zoom in, but this is the original version.
This is a bonus track, 2004 edition.
Yeah, mine's the original.
Got the original, obviously.
Nice, you got it too. Nice. We both got the original.
And I got the 2004 reissue.
Oh, nice.
Which this is the album we reviewed back in July.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We don't really need to go. Don't need to spend a whole lot of time about this one because we reviewed this one already.
Oh yeah, and I got this too for Closure of a Dream, the single.
I had a Symphony. I had the Symphony single.
Oh yeah, I remember you were showing that, yes.
Yeah, I had the single for Symphony of Destruction pretty much. And that had the two tracks that were that were previously unreleased on it. So
So yeah, we're not going to spend too much time on Countdown to Extinction because we did review it back in July.
But y'all can go and check out. I think it's on this channel. Go check it out if y'all want to watch that.
Yep, it's here on the Metal Bastards Hangout podcast channel.
Yep.
11 tracks. Obviously, we know the backstory behind this album. This is Megadeth going in a more commercial direction to compete with Metallica.
And well, yeah, as much as I love the Black Album, I kind of prefer Countdown more over Black Albums. Black Album has a few has a few stinkers on it, but this one's just like, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's a great release. It's a great follow up, easily.
The Black Album, I think.
I'm just gonna say I think it's better than the Black Album too.
And I love the Black Album, and that's the album that got me into metal and stuff like that. But I prefer Countdown more, like easily.
To me, this album still has a little bit more edge to it compared to the Black Album.
Yeah, it's like a great heavy metal album. A 9 out of 10, easily. If I were to give Black Album, I would have maybe given it a 9 as well, maybe even an 8.5.
So yeah, this is going to be a barn burner. We're going to blaze through the Skin of My Teeth, killer track.
Fucking awesome.
Great way to begin the album. Symphony of Destruction.
Yep.
Architecture of Aggression.
Yep.
Oh, killer track.
Yep.
Closer of a Dream. A bit more melodic.
Sweating Bullets.
Hello, me.
Hello, me. Hello, me. Hello, me. In my mystic way of life. God, that is such an awesome track.
So yeah, we all know Sweating Bullets. This was my life, a deep cut on here.
That one's my favorite, I think.
It's a cool track.
It's got a good riff.
Yeah, I'd say to me, it's probably, even though it's definitely not a bad track, but it's probably my maybe least favorite. I don't know.
Title track next.
The title track, which I'll cover this one real quick because on demo, the original version of Countdown to Extinction actually had a gallop to it, similar to like maybe Iron Maiden. It's a little faster, where on this version it's much slower. Pretty cool track though. High speed dirt, pretty much in the style of My Teeth.
It's more
upbeat, pretty fast.
It's more speed metal.
Psychotron.
High speed dirt's more speed metal to me.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Psychotron. Now, this is definitely the album where Dave starts using those voice effects a lot more. Captive Honor. Your soul better belong to Jesus because her ass belongs to me.
Ashes in her mouth.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite track on the album. Yeah, Ashes in Your Mouth is probably the only track on here that resembles Rust in Peace. Really good stuff. Anyways, that's a quick cover of Countdown.
Quick little review from us on Countdown, because like we said, we already reviewed this album.
All right, so moving on. We go to 1994.
Euthanasia.
Came out on November 1st of 1994 on Capitol
I was
Records.
just 4. I was just 4 years old at the time.
So this would be the first Megadeth. Hold on a minute. I want to make sure I'm actually right about the date on that. I'm pretty sure it's November 1st.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is okay. I thought so. So at the time,
Cool.
this would be the first Megadeth album to not have the Combat logo on it.
Who were they on?
Oh, they were still on Capitol, but there was no association with Combat no more. Like Countdown to Extinction still had the Combat logo on it.
Yes.
Yep. On the original.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, this one does. Yeah, this one has the Combat logo on it. Yeah.
So this one is also produced by Max Norman, which Max Norman produced
Countdown.
Countdown to Extinction, yes.
He also produced Ozzy, I think.
Did he? Oh, Osmosis?
No, Diary.
He did
Oh,
produce
really?
that, man. Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So there we go. I got the original Euthanasia.
I don't have that one. This is basically where you completely lose me at this point.
Oh, wait, this is the 2004 reissue. I apologize. That's the
Oh,
original
wow.
from 94.
Nice.
So this album is definitely a departure from. It's a complete departure from thrash metal. There's not any.
I think this is.
Yeah.
This is the album where they started getting mad at each other, I think.
Yeah, they were starting to. It was crumble. Everything was the relationship between everybody was crumbling at this point.
Well, around this time too, Dave was starting to get back into drugs too.
Oh,
Which he actually almost died around this period.
damn.
Yep. So
And
you
he's
got
one
12
strong
tracks.
Reckoning
You got
Day.
12. Yeah, Reckoning Day begins the album. Really killer opener. I think it's an awesome track. Possibly the heaviest track on the album. I mean, it definitely has. You can definitely tell what direction they're definitely going in here.
Yeah, they're going more. They're going more and more in the radio direction.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, this is even more commercial sounding than Countdown to Extinction, which this album did not do as good as Countdown to Extinction. Where Countdown hit number 2 on the billboards, this hit number 4 at the time.
Still great, really great, but not as great as Countdown.
Right. So Reckoning Day begins the album. Definitely a cool track. Train of Consequences. Now, this track is very bluesy. It's weird because on the 2004 reissue, they totally erased the harmonica parts. On the original version, it has harmonica in it.
I actually don't listen to this album. This is the 2004 version, but I don't listen to this album so much. Just
So then you got
interesting.
You got Addicted to Chaos. Killer track. Yeah, it's mid-paced. It's definitely more of a straight-up heavy metal track. But it's good. Probably one of my favorites on the album. A Totally Monde. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it.
Oh, yeah, a Tout Le Monde, yeah. Yes, that track. I know about that one. That's probably the only one I know from that album is a Tout Le Monde, because they would eventually redo it on United Abominations, and they had Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil come in and duet with Dave on it. But God, that's.
They also had a controversy with that song.
That's true, they did.
Yeah, it was condoning suicide or something.
Yep.
It was,
It got banned. It did get banned from MTV at the time.
yeah.
The video did.
Wow.
I don't know if you knew that, Ryan.
I never knew that, but I love the song. I absolutely love it. Both versions, I love them. You know, Tout Le Monde is probably my favorite Megadeth song of all time. I love Tout Le Monde.
So yeah, this would pretty much be Megadeth's first ballad, too.
Yeah, first true ballad, pretty much.
It also
So
has. It also has some songs like they re-released on 13, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep, you're right. Which we will get to here shortly.
Yeah.
Elysian Fields. Not a bad track, but kind of forgettable. The Killing Road. Now this track kicks ass. One of the heavier tracks on the album. I wouldn't say it's a thrash tune at all, but it's still pretty heavy. Good track. Blood of Heroes. Again, another pretty melodic track. Actually, don't mind this track. It's pretty good. Family Tree. Now this track is really controversial. Especially what the track is about. It's pretty much about incest. Pretty disturbing subject matter. So Dave was still writing angry tracks at this time, just not playing them fast. Euthanasia, the title track, kind of has a Black Sabbath feel to it. It's pretty doomy sounding. I Thought I Knew It All, kind of forgettable. Black Curtains. Now, Black Curtains is a really cool track. Pretty dark. I do enjoy that one. And Victory, the last track, is basically a homage to the first 5 Megadeth albums because there's some. It mentions song titles from each period. So it's kind of cool. And there's a really cool Marty Friedman track in this track. Euthanasia, it's not a bad album. Definitely not a perfect album, obviously, and this is definitely not a thrash metal album at all. I mean, but not bad. So I guess we'll move on. So the next album, there was a 3-year gap. And in that 3-year gap, I guess I'll talk about this real quick. They put out Hidden Treasures, which is basically a collection of B-sides and tracks they used on movie soundtrack tracks. Like this has no more Mr. Nice Guy from Shocker on it.
Yeah, Angry Again. That one's a killer song.
Yeah, Angry Again's a good one from Last Action Hero. That's a
really underrated song too.
I do love that track. You got Breakpoint too, which was on that terrible Super Mario Brothers movie. But the song kicks ass. Definitely a thrasher. Go to Hell was on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah, those, I think Breakpoint and Go to Hell would be on the Symphony of Destruction single. If I'm correct.
Yeah, I think you're actually right about that.
Just asking about a Winger deep dive.
Who?
Winger.
Hey,
I would only probably do the first album, but that's it.
I got the first album and I have Pool. Those are the only 2 Winger albums I have, but I have heard the other Winger albums, like after Pool. They're definitely more progressive. They're not like really the glammy hair metal type of stuff.
Yeah, the first album was kind of that glammy one, but then they got away from that pretty much. Kind of like Cinderella at later points got away from the glammy stuff.
Yep, pretty much. 99 Ways to Die. This track appeared on the Beavis and Butthead Experience soundtrack. Pretty cool track. Kind of pretty thrashy. And Spot. Paranoid, a Black Sabbath track, which appeared on Nativity and Black One, which was a Black Sabbath cover album that came out in '94. Diadams is a leftover from Euthanasia, which I think would probably have been the best track on Euthanasia that would have been on the album. It's dark. It was used on the Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight soundtrack. Then you got another Sex Pistols cover, Problems, to end off Hidden Treasures. And also in between that, Dave would record this. I threw this in here. It's not really a Megadeth album, but it does have Dave Mustaine on it. MD45, The Craving. This is obviously the 2004 reissue where Dave redid the vocals, but the original version, which I used to have, it had Lee Vig on vocals from the band Fear, the punk band Fear, which this is definitely pretty much punky sounding. It's nothing really to talk about, to be honest. So that came out in 96, and in 97, we
get... Yeah, pretty much there's some, what is it? Some, what was it? Hard rock or heavy metal sound or something like that.
Yeah, this one again continues that commercial direction, obviously. Well, kind of thinking about it, I think this album might be a tad better than Euthanasia the more I think about it. I mean, I got the original version and obviously the 2004 reissue, which there's definitely changes on this. So yeah, you got 12 tracks again, produced by Dan Huff. So they went to Tennessee to make this record. And the album opens up with Trust. Which I think Trust is a killer track.
Yeah, it's got a good solo. One of the heaviest.
Yep, Trust is definitely a really good track. That was the first track I heard from this album prior to the album coming out back in 97, and I enjoyed it. Almost Honest, a bit more hard rock sounding, not really metal at all. It's alright, I guess. I mean, it definitely has that commercial feel to it. Use of the Man, another ballad, which kind of speeds up at the end of the track. It's all right, I guess. Mastermind is that next? Yeah, Mastermind. This track, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. The Disintegrators. Now this track is short, kind of thrashy, kind of punky, kind of a return to a little bit of the thrash Megadeth. But then again, it's not really that strong of a track. Alright, maybe I do like Euthanasia a little better than this. I'll Get Even. Very poppy sounding. Then you turn around, you got Sin to open up track, or side 2, which would be on a cassette version. Kind of a forgettable track. A Secret Place is very poppy sounding, commercial. Have Cool Will Travel, it's very weak. The last 3 tracks are the best tracks on here, though. Seawolf. Now that's the Megadeth I want to hear. Just heavy. Has a really cool riff in it. Some really good twin guitar solos to end it off. Vortex kind of goes back to Countdown to Extinction a bit. And FFF, Fight for Freedom, kind of a Motor Breath ripoff. But it's all right. And that's Cryptic Writings. Yeah, it's all right. It's not the worst thing I've heard.
Yeah, it's
And they got the Punker Risk.
But now we get to dog shit. Now we get to Absolute Pulse.
Well, not dog shit for Maidsley because he gave Ed a 7. He also gave Cryptic Writings a 7, which him and Dragon Knight John, his friend, agreed that both Cryptic Grinds and Risk are 7.
Which I got the original version of Risk, and I got that 2004 remaster.
Yeah.
My dad has Risk.
Wow. Boy, Dave was really trying to do anything he could at the time to beat Metallica, and it did not work.
Yeah, and it resulted in Nick Menza, I'm pretty sure, left at that point.
Yeah, Nick Menza left around 98. They weren't getting along at all anymore.
So did
and then in comes Jimmy DeGrasso, pretty much at that point.
Which Jimmy DeGrasso came from Suicidal Tendencies. He was in the Alice Cooper band for a little bit.
Marty Friedman left too.
Well, Marty Friedman.
No,
yeah,
this was it. Marty was on that album, wasn't he?
Yeah,
on Risk.
Yeah,
he
this
left
would
after.
be Marty. Yeah, this would.
Yeah,
be
he would
Marty's
leave after.
last album.
Damn.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Hold on a minute, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah. So he'll be right back, everyone.
I agree
Yeah.
with
Oh God, yeah. Oh. I will if I ever get to live with my dad, I definitely will ask Dad, hey, I want to listen to Risk or Megadeth. I'll be curious.
I agree with Freddie. It's a dog shit album.
This is some, but you know me. If there's several albums I judge, if it's worse than Catharsis, then that might be saying something. But for me, maybe it won't be. Who knows? I don't.
Is he alright?
Ben, you alright? The awkward silence.
I hate silence.
I don't like silence. I hate it.
Look at what Jeff wrote.
E-Buck!
Jeff asked you if he had a stroke. Ben. Ben.
What did Jeff?
Sorry about that, guys. Holy shit, I didn't think I was going to stop puking.
Yeah,
I ran out of the freaking Pepto-Bismol, so I had to break out the antacids to try to help.
oh gosh. Come on, let's just get this shit. Let's get this over with. Look
at what Jeff wrote.
It can't be as bad as say Catharsis from Machine Head, because that's a pile of shit.
Ben.
Yo.
Look at what Jeff wrote.
Ben must have had an epic shit ETF. Ben's sick because of Risk.
Here we go again, produced by Dan Huff. And the guy that basically made Foreigner stuff back in the mid-'80s or early 80s, whatever it was. Buddy Prager. Oh yeah, Dave. This will make you a megastar, Dave. Crush him, Dave. I think
Well,
that's
if you consider he recorded it in Nashville, you gotta figure it's gonna suck.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, you know it's gonna probably suck.
You really got to talk about this.
Let's skip.
All right,
Let's skip.
Insomnia.
All right.
Insomnia. What the fuck is this? Dance music? Prince of Darkness. Average.
The only
Probably
Prince of
the best
Darkness I
track
know
on
is
this.
Ozzy.
Prince of Darkness. Exactly. Prince of Darkness, probably the best track on this album, but it still fucking sucks balls. Enter the arena. Enter the arena. Jesus Christ, I'd rather enter a fucking nut house than enter an arena playing this goddamn shit. Crush him. How about suck me? Fucking garbage. Breadline, catchy, but still blows. The doctor is calling. Yes, the doctor is calling. Give me my medication. Listen to this piece of shit. I'll be there. What are you trying to be, John Bon Jovi, Dave? Fuck you. Oh, man, now we're going to go country with Wanderlust. Ooh! Ecstasy.
I never thought I'd hear that.
Ecstasy. Give me an ecstasy out of here. 7. What, the 7 gates of hell? I don't even know which gate to fucking choose to get out of this fucking catastrophe. Time to begin. It's time for this album to go into fucking trash. And time to end. Probably the heaviest on here, but it still fucking sucks. Fuck this album.
Throw it on the toilet. Flush it down.
Again, I know my dad owns this album. At some point, out of curiosity, I want to listen to it. Because my dad has it, and I'll be just, out of curiosity, I'll ask him, hey, Dad, can we play Megadeth Risk for Megadeth? I'd like to hear, because I'm curious as to how this album sounds.
Well, just don't eat Chinese or chalupa that day, and make sure you have plenty of fucking Pepto-Bismol and acids, because you'll need it.
Okay. But who knows? This is coming from someone who fucking hates catharsis. So I'm sure it's not going to be that bad. I'm sure it's not going to be that bad. Or it's not going to be as bad as, say, anything from Limp Bizkit.
See, that's my problem. I'm a Megadeth.
I'd say it's equal.
I'm a completist, so
you had to get it just so you could be a completist, pretty much.
I
bought it way back in '99, knowing it's gonna fucking suck too. But
you bought it because you're a completionist.
I had to give Dave Mustaine my money. I had it on cassette too back then.
Oh wow! God damn.
I mean, it's weird too because before the fucking album came out, Dave was doing it was Dave and Dave Ellison doing some radio show on this local radio station we had at the time back where I used to live in. They literally played half this album, and I'm like, every fucking song sucks so far. And here I am on August 31st, 1999, out there buying Risk on cassette tape like a doofus. But anyways.
Then they got the rules.
But at least, we got through this. But now but next time we gotta go through The World Needs a Hero. Hero. And then we got System Has Failed, United Abominations, Endgame, 13, Super Collider,
System Has Failed,
Dystopia, and then pretty much the new album. The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead.
So it does get better from here on out. We promise you.
There is probably one hiccup in the road. Well, maybe two, probably. One or two that are probably might be down at the bottom, at least for you with Risk. Y'all probably will know which ones they are.
Yep. We have a clue. Definitely.
We have a clue as to which ones are going to be later on are going to be.
But anyways, that's Deep Dive Part 1 here for the Megadeth Discography. Thanks for joining in tonight. And we're going to end it at that. We'll probably do Part 2 next Sunday.
Had to cough right there. Big cough. It was kind of like a sneezing type of cough.
Got to get that Risk out of your system.
Nope, I probably coughed out catharsis to make room for Risk.
Oh, man.
The
Because I have a
Yeah,
tendency to know. I have a tendency to think that albums that people think are shit are probably good. Maybe.
chopped up the Five Finger Death Punch album.
I mean, this is well, yeah. I got the one Five Finger Death Punch album, but then you also have to think that I don't think Saint Anger is that bad.
Ooh.
I don't even think. What was another album that was terrible that the people think was terrible, but is actually good in my opinion? I would probably think.
Load.
Yeah, Load and Reload. Yes, I love those albums. I fucking love them.
Boy, that
I'm trying to think.
new Five Finger Death Punch is quite bad. Ugh.
Would you rather take that or Risk?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Would you rather take Risk or Nightmares of the Decomposed from 6 Feet Under?
Ooh.
Listen to Chris Barnes.
One, I would think one's a comedy album. Pretty much any 6 Feet Under album is kind of a comedy album.
Yeah, give me the 6 Feet Under album. That's
Yeah, so you can get the laugh. You get a laugh out of that. Oh, here's a better one. Would you rather take Risk or Catharsis for Machine Head?
Oh, Lord.
Two, well, your albums you probably will get fucking pissed about, but which one pisses you off less?
Risk.
Yeah, I think you probably see that makes me think to myself, Risk isn't gonna be that bad, so maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe. But then again, this is me, who also happens to freaking like and owns all of Creed's albums, nearly all Breaking Benjamin's albums, owns one Black Veil Bride's album. Yes, I shit you not, I own a goddamn Black Veil Bride's album. Here's proof right there. Yeah, hell, I even have a Three Doors Down album. I thought the Black Veil Bride's album was like, oh, this is a pretty damn good hard rock heavy metal. The guitar work sounds fantastic. The vocals are pretty good. But the guitar work, I don't care about the image when it comes to Black Veil Brides. I just care about the music.
Yeah,
And the one Black Veil Brides album I have, the music sounds great.
I have the
guitar player is definitely shred. I'll give him that. He's a good
Yeah, definitely.
I have the latest one from Black Veil Brides.
Yep, I own. This is the only Black Veil Brides album. And if you want proof of the Five Finger Death Punch album, here you go. There's your proof right there. I got one Five Finger Death Punch album. That's the only one I have.
There's only one bad CD in my collection that I can think of that's really bad. I don't even know how the hell I got it because it's definitely not my CD. I think it's my sister's CD, actually.
What's the album?
Linkin Park and Jay-Z. I don't know how.
Oh, that was the was it the remix of Meteora?
I think it is.
I would think so.
I'll give it to you if you want it. I don't want it, or I could smash
It'll
it.
be a cool birthday present because I got a birthday coming up. Yeah, go on there and send it if you want to. I don't mind.
You should smash it and give it to Ryan.
Don't smash it. I actually want to listen to it and see what it's like. Because I do like some Linkin Park. And early Linkin Park is... At least early Linkin Park is really good. Especially Hyper Theory.
So what time is it anyways?
1 your time.
It is 12:05 a.m.
1:05 here in PA. But yeah, so that's part one. Me, Metal Mike, missed out tonight. He must have fell asleep, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But we did get through part one. That's all that matters.
Yes, I'm glad I came in and just filled in, even though I wasn't talking much about anything past Countdown, because to be honest, I've never really listened to anything outside of maybe there's a gap between, say, Countdown and what would it be? United Abominations. Those are albums I've never listened to in between Countdown and United Abominations. And Risk is probably one of those I do want to listen to. Maybe even Cryptic Writings and Euthanasia. Hell, I do want to listen to The System as Fail because I've heard some good things about that one.
Great album. Definitely.
But those are probably ones I would. But those would definitely be albums I, out of curiosity, to listen to because I want to know what they sound like. my opinion, because everybody's opinion is different.
Right.
I know you think your opinion is you think Risk is shit, and maybe I might like Risk. I might like it. Who knows?
I don't know. Should we do a stream after this? I can do it on my other channel. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I mean,
We could do a stream here. Yeah, but make sure to send us a link. I could definitely hang out for a bit and get back to maybe playing on my game here again, because I've just been over here scrolling over through Spotify, just looking at all the track listings for at least up to Rust in Peace on here on my Spotify app on Xbox. So I've been idle on this.
Yeah, it won't take me long. Yeah, it won't take me long to set up another stream, like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and also, but I will quickly mention that this will also be on Damage Incorporated's Patreon channel. So once this is all done, it'll probably take forever. But once this is all done and set up, and I'll be able to download it and put it on the channel, so y'all will be able to see it over there.
Is it okay if I put it on mine? Or
yeah, go ahead. You can put it on your channel since you're a part of it. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it, man. It's your call.
Yep, that's fine. Anyways, that's part 1 of the Megadeth discography. Going to go live over on the Metal Bents Chronicles channel. 15, 20 minutes. So I'll see you guys over there. All right. Keep the metal on this out. And
send us a link.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
All right.